This afternoon on the marketplace, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority to unveil new governance code for pension fund managers.
As the pension funds keep growing and huge funds are being kept or managed on behalf of contributors, it means that the institutions that are overseeing the investment of these huge funds themselves have to be managed really well.
Also, Ghana's debt tilting towards commercial loans, a cause for worry. We'll hear from partner at accounting and auditing firm Deloitte and Touche. Plus, total value of foreign currency deposits hit $4.7 billion in May, a development that might not be good for cedi's performance, especially looking at its current troubles. Hello once again, you're welcome to the program. I'm Charles Aite. We have more after this break. To stay. And now to our first story. The National Pensions Regulatory Authority has completed work on the proposed governance code for corporate trustees aimed at strengthening regulation in pension funds industry. Now, speaking to Joy Business during the launch of Penja, an insurance and pension package between Alliance Life and Pension Alliance Trust, Director of Research at the MPRA, Ernest Amati Vondi, said the MPRA is awaiting on the creation of its board to approve the implementation of the governance code. Here is more in this report.
The country's insurance and pensions industry is expanding with the introduction of many innovative products from existing and new firms. To this end, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and the National Insurance Commission are collaborating to ensure enhanced regulation. After speaking to endorse the insurance product for Pension Trust Alliance and Alliance Life, Director of Research at the MPRA, Ernest Amati Vondi, said the promulgation of a governance code is very critical to the industry to meet its growing trend.
As the pension funds keep growing, and huge funds are being kept or managed on behalf of contributors, it means that the institutions that are overseeing the investment of these huge funds themselves have to be managed really well. The kind of standards that are required to make them quite efficient, effective in their operations has to be ensured. Then we can give the needed retirement income security that we are looking for the Ghanaian contributor. That's why we see that directive as really very important.
Any timeline, sir?
And unfortunately, I do not have an idea how soon our board is going to be put in place. But I'm sure that when they come, it's one of the items that they are speedily going to have a look at. Then we'll be able to define some timelines for its implementation.
Managing Director of Alliance Life, Gideon Aterere, is confident that the newly launched product will help secure the future of many insured pensioners.
Life, sometimes some people will die even before they get to the retirement age. Now, when they die, what we've seen is that the standard of living that they've always had with their families tends to drop when there's death. But with this solution, it means that even when death occurs, as the family is crying because of the loss of the loved ones, they will not cry because of the loss of their standard of living. They will be able to maintain that. So if you look at hospitalization, disability, and death, that's what we are adding to pension, to savings, and that's why this product is a must-have for the average Ghanaian.
CEO of Pensions Alliance Trust, Ras Boateng, stated that the partnership with Alliance Life Insurance will enable contributors enjoy even more value from their pension contributions, as they do not have to wait until retirement to begin to reap these extra benefits.
Now, there is good news for traders at the Central Business District of Accra, as insurance firm Saham Insurance today presented $500,000 cedis of bank assurance package to some traders affected by the July market fire. This was done in strategic partnership with Carl Bank and Bank of Africa. Making a presentation, the head of bank assurance at Saham Insurance, Edith Lawson Atinga, called for financial and insurance inclusion for everyone, especially those in the informal sector.
After the Mokola fire, we have come through for her, and now she's getting back on her feet.
Okay, so how flexible was this process? Because there's this perception that it is a cumbersome process. How flexible was this one?
Well, I won't won't call it cumbersome. This was, I would say, quote unquote, a national issue or national disaster. And so we took our time to make sure that the national service people or the national service did their part, and then we came in to take care of our clients. So I won't call it a cumbersome process at all. It was very straightforward. There was fire, goods were covered, and insurance was paid, or the claim was paid.
Okay,
So one of the main means we are trying to get out to reach them is through our bank assurance policy, which we have done. Cal Bank has a client already. They bank with them. So the best way to get through to them is to get through their banks. And that's what we are witnessing here today. That through Cal Bank, one of the retail products has been purchased, and it was easier for her to get access to. But otherwise, it is open to the market. Just like you said, because it's not attractive to them, they don't come straight to the insurance company. But would they trust their bankers? Yes. And so the importance of bank assurance.
Okay.
It boils down to financial inclusion, just them understanding their businesses and putting the right papers in place. For Madam Anita, she had a stock list, and you know that a lot of them do not, put a proper account to their business. But she was able to do that through this partnership. She knows that as I'm insuring my business, I need to make sure that I have regular checks for my goods. I always update the insurance company when I add more goods to my stock.
And that was Edith Lawson Atinga, the head of bank assurance at Saham Insurance Company. You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. Total value of the foreign currency deposit with commercial banks ending May this year witnessed some significant increase. Now, data from the Bank of Ghana puts the value at $4.7 billion compared with $4.1 billion during the same period last year. But should we be worried about this development? George Riafi finds out in this report.
This is the total value of 4 foreign currencies that has been lodged at the commercial banks by individuals and businesses. However, for easy calculation and comparison, everything has been converted into dollars. In just 1 year, the amount has increased by more than $500 million to hit $4.7 billion, while between March 2021 to May, it has increased by more than $200 million. For some, the development can be described as worrying. This is because it has been established that the majority of these accounts are not necessarily for those that are engaged in dollar business and transactions, but rather persons and firms that want to protect their investments against inflation. This often see persons go out and buy dollars and keep them in an account. Whichever way you want to look at this, some currency experts say it is not good for the Ghana cedi's stability against the dollar. This is because some have argued that this practice has also been one of the major factors contributing to the cedi's perennial depreciation against the US dollar. The practice is also depriving a lot of firms that may need these dollars for various business transactions. Others believe that one of the surest ways to stem this practice is by stabilizing the Ghana cedi against the US dollar.
Partner at accounting and auditing firm Deloitte and Touche, Yao Latte, is expressing worry about the debt profile of the country, which is tilting towards commercial loans. Commercial loans usually come at higher interest costs than bilateral facilities, which appear in concessionary terms at a longer repayment period. Speaking on Business Live on JoyNews, Mr. Latte cautioned managers of the economy to be careful about the rising debt levels, which could create problems for the country going forward.
There are countries that have got high indebtedness, and because of their economic capacity, they are able to absorb or manage their debts and then go through it and get a benefit out of it. But then the question for us is whether those countries that we are comparing ourselves with, the capacities that they have, we do have that capacity, and whether we are also on the right path to a situation where we are going to avoid our debt distress situation completely. There are some risks around us, and those risks, if you don't manage them, our rising debt levels could create problems for us. If you have a situation where a country is classified as a debt distress or potential debt distress, that alone is a trigger where investor confidence is reduced, and then the potential of businesses securing loan facilities at a cheaper rate it also becomes very almost impossible because the sovereign cap today, if you are borrowing in, let's say, USD terms outside Ghana, if government of Ghana is borrowing at almost 9%, there is no business I can say that can borrow below the 9% unless that business can demonstrate, like let's say Cocoa Board, that they have the credit worthiness and their revenue inflows are denominated in dollars. If you are not able to demonstrate that, you are going to borrow as a businessman or as a business entity, you are going to borrow over and above the sovereign cap. That's a key concern.
That was Yao Latte, partner at accounting and auditing firm Deloitte. And of course, you're still watching The Marketplace. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back to stay. Yeah, welcome back to the program. Let's now have a conversation on rice because the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Sugandh Rajaram, has argued that even though the government's quest to end importation of rice is highly commended, some variant of the commodity would still be imported to meet commercial demands. The Ministry of Agriculture, the minister actually, Dr. Wusufri Akoto, has revealed that rice imports will be banned by 2025. But speaking to me in an interview, Sugandh Rajaram makes the point that until Ghana can produce all variants of rice to meet domestic and commercial demands locally, an outright ban could be impossible.
See that the rice production in the country should be increased at least to the level of the needs, and not just the rice, because there are so many other things which Ghana can produce, but still it is being imported. So this could be a starting commodity in order to work in that direction. But yes, I think there will be a need for import of rice for certain qualities, certain types, certain kind of mixtures, because these days rice is not eaten in the the similar kind of varieties of rice is not eaten everywhere. Yes, I think maybe for the daily needs of the general population, you will need the rice which can be produced or grown locally.
Oh, but the minister says there's going to be an outright ban of the importation of rice from 2025.
So maybe the vision could be that by that time, all qualities, all varieties of rice which is needed here could be produced locally. There are a lot of rice which comes from other countries, Vietnam and so many other countries here. Many of the Indian companies, trading companies, are involved, but they get the volume from India less, but from other countries more. But yes, I think India is one of the largest producers of rice, also the largest exporters of rice. But there are various varieties of rice which is exported from India. But I fully agree with the Agri Minister and the government of Ghana when they say, substituting the import with the local production. I think this is priority for any national government, be it India, be it Ghana, for any other country, because you have perfect agroclimatic conditions for diversified crop cultivation. In India, in Ghana, we have a similar situation. In India, we produce everything what can be produced in any tropical country. Ghana can also do that, and a lot of efforts are on here. And yes, I think Ghana wants to.
Well, let's bring in the Chief Executive Officer of the Agribusiness Chamber of Ghana, Anthony Morrison, on this session by the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana. Anthony, we're so grateful that you joined us. Well, you did hear the High Commissioner to Ghana from India. He is commending the entire move by government to ban the importation of rice, but he's not so sure about how we could meet demand when it comes to all the variants of rice and the respective appetites, commercial, domestic, of it. How do you respond to his assessment?
Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your viewers. I couldn't listen to him properly, but I think the summary is enough for me to comment on this. Let me say that, first of all, I want to caution the Ministry of Food and Agriculture on coming out to make such statements of this nature, because we live in a global community. We work and deal with intelligence. data is critical. We have superpowers that we import rice from, and we should be very careful how we come out with some of these things and how it likely would impact negatively on our economy to be. Some of these things we need to be doing it quite undertone. We don't need to come out to talk about it. By the time the world wakes up, we are food sufficiency right. Now, let me move on to the substantive issue. Ghana is capable of producing more than enough to feed itself. And I say that with a lot of facts to prove. If you look at the mid-water belt alone, can produce enough rice to feed the whole of the country. In fact, the Volta region is the biggest rice producing region. Data keeps increasing, even though we have spent well of $1.3 billion in the importation of rice. Our rice consumption has increased almost 600,000 metric tons, and our production capacity is about 750,000 metric tons. But that doesn't mean that we do not have the capacity. We need to invest into research. We need to invest into mechanization and irrigation. We also need to invest into some externalities like agricultural land bank and many others.
Great, but I get your submission, but the question of doubt is really if we could, as a country, manage the demand for all the varieties of rice. You hear the Indian High Commissioner speak about that, to meet commercial and domestic need. Are we there yet?
Yes, we are there. To tell you the fact, the standard of rice processing in Ghana is so high. Do you know that we export rice to U.S. and South Korea?
That's a fact. We do export rice.
Our standard of rice currently, as we have it, is so high. And we do not need more variants or varieties of rice to be produced in Ghana for our hotels and other tourist destinations to begin to produce or cook and serve their distinguished guests with local rice. In fact, let's take the situation of Nigeria. Nigeria has the biggest population, yet still they consume 90% of local rice. Think about it. How many foreigners are in Nigeria and how many local rice they keep consuming annually? So we need to start from a point. And we're talking about a 5-year strategy. A 5-year strategy that will go into research, will go into intake and adaptation of technology, irrigation and high-skill mechanization systems, and also to give our farmers the needed skills to be able to turn around the current metric tons of 2.8 to about 4 metric tons.
But even as we embark on this 5-year strategy, Anthony, there are also concerns about, issues, as you can see on the screens there. The production is there, paddy rice available in large quantities, but the value chain of, submission to get it to the market gates, the farm, from the farmlands to the market gate, is much of a concern. Experiencing rice gluts each and every year, most of these produce waste away. So how do we deal with the shortfalls, even as we get up for this 5-year plan?
Yes, all these are part of the implementation strategy or the action plan. Now, there are data that shows that about 18% of rice are lost on the field, which is the post-harvest losses. We need to do better with that. We need to increase a better storage facility for some of these things and work around the climate change. With data available to me, I can tell you for a fact that even though we import about 120 metric tons from US, Thailand, Vietnam, and India, we can do better. And we have what it takes as a country, both the competitive and the environmental ecosystem and the comparative advantage to be able to produce enough rice. Currently, we have a number of varieties of rice that are under production in Ghana. We have the Agra, we have the Jasmine, we have the Estella. We have quite a number of them. These are very, very quality after processing. We have one of the best processing machines. You can talk about the AGL in Adapu. Okay.
So we have the wherewithal and the technical capacity to meet demand, both domestic and commercial. Anthony, we're so grateful that you joined us. He's the CEO of the Agribusiness Chamber in Ghana. Away from that, let's now talk tourism because it is a key economic driver in Ghana. The sector is currently the fourth largest source of foreign exchange earnings, creating jobs and stimulating the sectors of the economy. However, the existing tourism potential in the Ashanti region is yet to be fully tapped. The African Travel and Tourism Association has begun mobilizing resources to enhance the economic fortunes of tourist sites in the region. There is more in this report.
According to the African Travel and Tourism Association, a larger percentage of tourists recorded in Ghana annually visit the Ashanti region. Founding member and chair of the association, Ahmed Naaman, has therefore reiterated the need for more investment in tourist sites in the region. He believes this will make the region attractive.
We need to really revive the cycle of tourism in the Ashanti region. Nobody can tell our story more than us because we are the ones on the ground. We are the professionals, we are the tour operators, and we partnered with the media people like you. Kumasi has a lot of attractions to visit. This morning we started from the zoo to the culture center to prepare the second museum. We went all the way to Kumfanoshi Sword. We are now at the military museum.
Notable tourist sites in Kumasi include the Prempeh II Museum, the Kumasi Zoological Gardens, the Armed Forces Military Museum, the Okonfo-Anokye Sword Site, and the Menchia Palace. In 2018, the Kumasi Zoo recorded 60,000 visitors around the world. Though the COVID-19 pandemic affected patronage, the zoo estimated 100,000 tourists this year. There are ongoing enhancement projects at the zoological gardens to make it attractive. These include a canopy walkway and addition of more exotic animals. Zeka Meyiri is resident wildlife veterinarian and zoo manager.
Currently, you can see there's a lot of renovation works ongoing, and this is to lift the zoo to a very high level. We are envisaging to making Kumasi Zoo one of the best zoos in West Africa, so that we can attract more visitors, not just only for the revenue, but for people to learn the conservation of our wildlife species and to...
Ahmed Naaman has, however, observed funding of tourist attractions has been a major challenge. He's hoping the sector will receive support under the COVID-19 alleviation grant.
Our major obstacle in promoting the association is funds. You know, because our members are out of business, or some of us are really doing very little business, it is not enough for us to extend our support to the association. So, and then you know, we have tried as much as we can to set up the association and put it on the track, but it takes also funds to run the association. Recently, the government have initiated the COVID alleviation fund, which some members have benefited from. We have a grant that the government is also offering to the Ministry of Tourism. Most of our members have registered for. This is a very good initiative because it will help us get back those who have lost their jobs to come back on board.
The association, as part of its one-year anniversary, took a 3-day tour of selected tourist sites in the Ashanti region. Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Colorful piece there, but away from that, the Dean of Faculty of Applied Science and Technology of the Tamale Technical University, Dr. Adiza Sadiq, has indicated that the facility, the faculty, is poised to provide career-focused education and training in science and technology for the middle-level manpower needs of students. She said one of their main objectives is to train the students to compete in a challenging world of tech advancement.
Speaking at the 13th exhibition of the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management in Tamale under the theme Eat Ghana, Wear Ghana and See Ghana, Dr. Adiza Sadiq said the department has taken the lead to train students to be job creators and not job seekers.
One of our objectives among the lot is to train students to compete in a challenging world of technological advancement. The ATM department has taken the lead. We are training our students to be job creators and not job seekers. We don't want our students to join the Association of Unemployed Graduates. This event is actually to showcase what our students can do. As the name goes, Hospitality and Tourism Management. Previously, we trained these students be job seekers in the hospitality industry with skills in just cooked food. This exhibition will let you know that we can do more by adding value to our farm products to create direct and indirect jobs. Whatever you see is not coming from outside of Ghana, actually within Tamale. It is our products, our farm products that these students have been able to transform. They've added value to it. So we can compete in any market. And in so doing, the students can create jobs for themselves.
Head of Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Al-Hassan Fatau, said, despite the challenges faced by the department, the students have been nurtured very well for the job market.
The department, we have taken various initiatives to ensure that, one, that we are able to generate resources to sustain our own operations. And as a result, the department has used its own resources to build a restaurant. Though not completed, it's about 90% completed. We are also building a bakery, which we are sure by next semester, when school resumes, we'll start operating the bakery. And we are also started producing smoothies around. So as a matter of fact, as a department, we want to create avenues. So when we establish this in the restaurants, the bakeries, the smoothie stores, and other things, these are things that will be produced by the students. And therefore, so when they produce and they are learning, on the same vein, the department itself is getting some resources so that we can better enhance the training process that we provide for students.
Some of the students who spoke to Joy Business said they were encouraged to pursue their dream careers.
Since I'm here, after competition, I don't need to go out searching for jobs. They've shown us how to create jobs for ourselves. And then now we even have unemployment.
Now, here's what to do if you'd want to get updated on all the trending stories, business, sports, entertainment, and politics in Ghana and around the world. Just log on to myjoyonline.com, where you could see all the stories. In the business front, you could see our leading story. Ghana Municipals anticipated 1.1 million tons of cocoa production. That's in this particular cocoa crop season. We shall have more details in our subsequent bulletins in the marketplace. But many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.